I'm breaking out, I'm breaking in. I just can't help this state I'm in. I'm on my way, y'all. So put your shades on, this light's so bright, it's blinding. I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love. Breaking free, I'm breaking ground. I can't explain this thing I found. The clouds have moved on. I got my groove on. This pep in my steps infectious. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I've been stuck in a rut. I've been shit out of luck. I've been wondering what is up with me. And then I realized it's up to me to decide. I can just be radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love.
You are an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto yourself anything that you desire. Absolutely anything you desire. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm the Reverend Doctor, however you say that, Jay Willick. I'm the Senior Minister here at the New Thought Spiritual Center, and that's what you have joined this morning, the Sunday celebration that we have, and we're so happy that you have brought your consciousness with ours, and we can be as one as we are as one here on a Sunday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, whatever day you happen to be watching. It is live on Sunday mornings, but it doesn't matter when you watch as long as you watch. I want to tell you a little bit, if you're new to us, about the New Thought Spiritual Center. So we have some statements of principles. Watch this. Our theme this month is in having, being in having mode. What is it you desire, you declare to have in your life experiences? That's what we're talking about all month. And each month we also highlight one of our statement of principles. And this month we are highlighting our mission statement, which is bust through, soar, and zoom. And you can do that no matter what. You can do that if your life is going not so great, or if your life's going fantastic. You want to bust through, soar, and zoom even the best parts of your life. There's this great quote from Richard Bach, which you can't totally see because of the camera angle, but let me read it to you. To fly as fast as thought, you must begin by knowing that you have already arrived. I wonder if that's from Jonathan Livingston Seagull, since he was flying around all the time. Isn't that great? You got to know here in your mind. I hesitate to point to the brain because the mind is more than the brain, but you have to be here in mind before you're here in reality's sake, in the factual world. And that's what we're trying to do here. That's what we're teaching, and the tools that we're bringing to you every week about how to live your life. How are you living your life? How are you? You know, I don't like to have our Sunday celebrations, our gatherings, to just be, well, I want them to be participatory, you know, not for you to just kind of watch like you're just watching some scripted show on TV or reality show or something. I want you to participate and partake in what's going on and answer these questions. Allow these questions that may come up through me or from me to through your intuition to inform you what's going on in your life. I want aha moments during this next hour, and we're gonna bring on in just a second someone who always helps with aha moments, and she'll be here in just a minute or two. That's what we want. We want this to be experiential, not for you to just watch and be passive about it. You can go to any service online here or on YouTube Live or wherever you are and find that out. I want you to participate. I want thoughts to happen. I want you to be provoked by what we say and what we talk about in this teaching, to step up, to bust through, soar, and zoom into your next fabulous journey, your next fabulous adventure, your next fabulous life experience. And speaking of which, we're going to bring on Caressa McElhaney, who's going to talk to us. I'm not sure what she's going to talk to us about. That's the exciting thing. And she'll also present, there she is, our affirmative incantation for this week, which is what you do twice a day all week. You'll use this affirmative incantation, and maybe she'll tell you a little bit about her last and latest adventure. We'll see. Watch this, Caressa McElhaney.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Good morning. Happy December.
And happy 11th.
Yes, happy 11th.
We always got to get that in.
Yeah, we had to, because we had the privilege of speaking and singing. Steve will be singing on the 11th. We just wanted to say happy 11th because it's always a special day for us. We always celebrate the 11th. And how long ago?
Look, it was 11 and a half years ago on this very day that, Caressa, you gave me this book.
I did.
A thing called you.
This thing called you.
And which totally changed my life.
I know, it became the sort of the start of our spiritual journey together. And I know this is Barbara and Gary, Reverend Barbara and Gary Altman's favorite book as well. But so we just wanted to, and I'll be reading from that today, but we just wanted to share with you our joy at celebrating the 11th every month.
Because we encourage people being themselves to you.
Cheers.
Happy 11th.
So, what I want to talk to you about today is, have you ever wanted something so much or needed something so badly that you started bargaining with the universe? Or you say to yourself, well, I'll just let the universe decide. You know, if you ever have, see that for the red flag that it is. Because the universe is not up there making decisions about what we get or what happens to us based on our degree of longing or how hard we focus on it or our level of worthiness. That's an old way of thinking that sometimes I even catch myself in. And I just want to let you know, if you don't already, that the universe is impartial. The laws of the universe are impartial. All of the laws are impartial. So we make decisions as to how our life unfolds, whether we realize we're doing it or not. It's us. So we are all worthy. No matter how deep-seated our opinions of ourselves or others are, we are all exactly the same amount of worthy. And all the sayings that you've ever heard, like thoughts are things, or we create our reality, or it is done unto you as you believe, are true. Now, the only tricky part is understanding how that works. Well, actually, it's not really tricky. It's actually very simple. And what we need to do is to raise our level of vibration to that of our good that is already there waiting for us. And we do that by letting go of resistance. Okay, so how do we do that? So Ernest Holmes, in this lovely book, This Thing Called You, says, the thing that stands between you and the greater good is a thing of thought and nothing else. It is not reality that you must change, but your mental reaction to it. So I change my mental reaction to reality by remaining satisfied in the now, by rejoicing in the now, by living my life with as much joy and gratitude as I possibly can in the now. In other words, by living as if we already have our heart's desire. And we can do this because, one, we know it is already ours, and two, we are enjoying the journey and we allow it all in. And then when something happens that creates some anxiety or fear, as it always does inevitably, we begin to doubt. That is precisely the time that we need greater faith. And to understand that whatever it is that we are longing for is already ours, we can just remain grateful and joyous. So, and then keep practicing living like that, because it does take practice for most of us. We have this old way of thinking ingrained, and we just need to reverse the way we think. So a really simple way of knowing when you are out of alignment is precisely the moment that you begin to feel less than happy and grateful, less than worthy, when you're irritable or angry. Those are big red flags that tell you that you are out of alignment and it's time to shift your attitude. And to let you know that you are simply creating more resistance by remaining in those kind of emotions or moods. So Ernest Holmes again says, if the law operates automatically, then you do not coerce, concentrate, or compel it. You provide mental attitudes which it may operate upon. This is your individual effort. Your concentration is not on the law, because that is already here. It is right where you are. It is within you as well as around you. This concentration is not coercion, but good-natured flexibility with yourself, gradually eliminating doubt, fear, uncertainty, and replacing them with certainty, assurance, recognition, and gratitude. So practice, practice, practice. Practice catching yourself. Practice gratitude. Practice knowing that you are worthy and so loved, and you deserve all the good that is yours to have. So I'd like to go ahead and read the affirmative incantation that Reverend Jay has written for this week. So whenever you're ready, it'll come up on your screen. Here we go. I have faith and trust in my intuition. I take what is constructive thinking and run with it. I take what is destructive thinking and ignore it. I trust my ability to decipher truth from fear-based or junk idea falsities. And today I bust through, soar, and zoom into greater and more productive decisions. So with that, let us move into affirmative prayer. I will go ahead and speak the truth for all of us, because I know right here and right now that we are all exactly as worthy as everyone else. There is no unworthiness in the universe. the creations that we are individualizations of the divine. And there is nothing unworthy about that. So we put that aside. We just negate that as even a thought in our minds that we have to contend with. We know that we deserve all the riches of the universe. We know that if we put our minds to it and just remain in the now and remain joyous and so grateful for everything that we have and enjoy the journey, that what is in front of us and all around us is nothing but good, nothing but incredible life. And we keep our expectations high. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, that is a key to greater living, greater expectations. So I declare right here and right now that all our expectations are so high for this amazing life that we are living, for this amazing future that is unfolding and that is already present in vibration. And we just simply need to rise to greet it and allow it in. And I am so grateful for this, so happy to be able to speak this word for myself and for you and for anyone else who might be listening, for all of us. It is the truth. It is done. It is here. It is now. I let it go because I don't need to say anything more about it because I've already declared it. And so it is. So say that with me now. So it is. Thank you.
You are rocking it today, man. Woo! Yowza. They're going to switch places, Steve and Caress, and Steve's going to bring us a song this week. It is also one of my favorite books, this thing called You. I love it a lot. There it goes. I love it a lot. It is full of highlights and bookmarks, and it's a great book. And what's so fabulous, one of the fabulous things about this book is that it's only 154 pages-ish long. And it will tell you so much. It will inform you so much, this book. I really love it, love it, love it. There's other books that I love, and I've brought those on, but since Caressa was talking about that, I grabbed mine and brought it on. I can't see you waving at me, Steve, so if you're ready, just cut away or whatever. There we go. Oh, you're ready. Okay, here we are. Steve Appleton, my friend.
It has been an honor and a privilege to sing to you on a monthly basis. And to kind of carry on what we kind of speaking about earlier, it's just having the drive and the inspiration to reach out to people. And it's important to be you. And if you would have said 3 years ago, I would have written 29 songs for a spiritual center, I would have said, whoa, let me sign up for that. But that's what happened. And part of that journey kind of works in this little formula. What started with a simple notion I could sing to you some thoughts I feel, but it comes down to pushing things in motion, having the trust and truth to reveal. Every day is an endless journey to be greater than the day before. Therefore I pledge to keep on learning, to believe and want more. You best believe there's so much more. And what followed was a choice to seize, unmanifested by desires designed. I embraced the leap of faith that found freedom in my heart and in my mind. Suddenly dreams were then reawakened to the speed of the universe. A purpose, a choice, therefore the taking, to bring wealth and love to disperse. Imagine how much that must be worth. You have to be you and be equal to how you vibrate life, value love, carry on and follow through. Radiate your light, keep it shining bright. To feel, believe, and be as you are, what makes the world so right. Have to keep that resilience in everybody's side, being you. So with all these honest opinions, declarations, and decries that rhyme, my passionate plays that amount in the millions, the urgencies I bring to mind are the truths that keep me excited in the most spectacular way, and I'm compelled to reignite it, to appeal and always convey. So grateful I always have something to say. So you have to be you, be equal to how you vibrate, light, value, love, carry on and follow through. Radiate your light, it's your ultimate right. To feel, believe, and be as you are is the shine that keeps you bright. You have to have that brilliance in everybody's sight. You have to be you. So it started from a simple notion. I could sing to you some thoughts I feel. It comes down to pushing things in motion with the trust and truth to reveal. 'Cause every day is an endless journey to be greater than the day before. So I pledge to keep on learning, to believe there's so much more. I believe there's so much more. It's best to be you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thank you, Steve. That's perfect. Perfect song. Let me adjust my camera here a little bit. Sorry about that. Wow. Both of you. Perfect. Oh my. I don't need to say anything more. Thank you very much. Wow. Wow. So this week, as I was thinking about my talk, I was thinking about, there's kind of four legs of life, four main parts of our lives. Health, our body temple, finances, relationships, both romantic, familial, and others, and work and creative life. Those are kind of the four pillars of what's going on with all of us. And as I was thinking about that and the talk title, I realized that I need to remind everyone, including myself, that no matter what is going on in life, you got this. You got this. And so I was thinking about, well, why? Why? How can I say that to you? I know there's a lot of things going on with everyone in one part of those four pillars of life that doesn't seem to be very fun or is downright rotten. And I thought to myself, yeah, but we have to remember that we are not our DNA. We are not the statistics that we hear about in the news. We are, what are we? What are we? Well, that's what I want to talk about first. Who are we? Who are you? There's a quote by Unknown, whoever that is, very famous person, obviously Unknown. They have a lot of quotes. And Unknown said, "The same boiling water that softens the potato hardens the egg. It's what you're made of, not the circumstances." And when that quote popped up for me, I thought, yeah, who are we? We need to sometimes, during one of those pillars of life not working out as we have thought it should, we have to remember who we are first. That is the primary thing. What and who are we? Well, I want to remind you of that. I probably remind you every week, but do you know who you are? You are an individualization of the same creative power, the same energy, call it what you will, that created everything, the whole universe. I mean, think about that. I know that can be maybe overwhelming a little bit, sort of like when we're talking about billions or trillions of dollars, that can be overwhelming, and that's a hard thing to grasp onto for most people. But I think it's essential that we always go back to number one, to the oneness of all, to who we are, who you are. That power that created the planets, the power of the Big Bang, whatever you want to call it, is in you right now. That's who you are. And you get to decide if you're going to get softened like the potato if you're in hot water in one of these pillars of life, or if you're going to harden up and like the egg does when this boiling water is in your pillar of life, whichever it is, finances, health. Are you going to harden yourself and know what it is that you get to do, which is choose? You get to choose what you're going to do in that situation, good, bad, or indifferent. The same boiling water that softens the potato hardens the egg. Which one are you going to be? You are all of it. Then I started thinking about, wait a minute, what about focus? We got to focus in life. What are we going to focus on? Well, Carlos Castaneda wrote, we either make ourselves miserable or make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. So what are you focusing on? You focusing on, like I've said before, the woe is me life or the wow is me life? Are you focusing on the negative? Now, I'm not saying you don't look at the negative. You want to look at the negative and go, okay, there's something I got to do about this. And I got to start in mind. I got to start with knowing who I am. And then I got to step into what it is I need to do and move through and take action with. How do I bust through, soar, and zoom? That's what I focus on. I don't focus on, oh gosh, this is awful. Oh, yeah, there may be a little bit of that. That's okay. You can have a little bit of a venting, even a little bit of a woe is me, but it's how long you stay in that. A minute. Give yourself a minute, 5 minutes maybe. But then you start realizing, wait a minute. I am the individualized power of the Big Bang, of that singular energy that created all. Wait a minute. I can allow myself through my intuition, through my contacts, through the contacts of my contacts, to relieve myself of this dis-ease in my life, wherever that is, in our body temple, in our finances, in our work and creative life, in our relationships. Like Wayne Dyer says, if you believe it'll work out, you'll see opportunities. If you don't believe it'll work out, you'll see obstacles. So what do you want to focus on? The opportunities, because there's infinite opportunities in the universe, or the obstacles and the statistics and the diagnosis and the prognosis and the oh, my DNA says this, that, or the other, so this must show up in my life. Or I've always had bad relationships, so I will continue to have bad relationships. You buy into that, you'll see the obstacles. The obstacles will show up for you. No problem in that, because the universe is only going to bring you what you declare. And if you declare, every time I get into a romantic relationship, XYZ happens, then that's what you'll get, negative or positive, or a combination of both. You won't allow yourself to see the red flags or take action because of the red flags, because you're allowing the obstacles to stick with you. You're focusing on the obstacles being a part of your life. Which brings me to purpose. What's our purpose? So we know we want to focus on the good. Even when the non-good shows up, we want to focus on the good because that brings in the opportunities to bust through, soar, and zoom those not so great thoughts or experiences, whatever those are, in any of the pillars of life. And we want to remember who we are. We have the power to do this. No matter what has happened before in your life, you have the power and the will and the choice to move through it. So, but what is your purpose? Nietzsche said, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. So what is your why? What is your why? Is your why part of who you are, who you truly are? I'm not talking about your job. I'm not talking about your supposed social status or your economic status or where you live or how you were brought up. I'm talking about your essence, your very essence. So, like Nietzsche said, why do you want to live? What's your purpose? Is your purpose to be happy? Is your purpose to be rich? Is your purpose to enrich yourself and thus others with the talents that you have been given or the talents that you have gone and gotten for yourself? You need to have a purpose. The divine is within you right now. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. It's what you do with it. Your personal purpose in life. Now, when things happen, I know we have reactions. And reactions are usually based on some sort of trigger, psychological trigger from past experiences or something we've decided we have learned and are going to keep in our lives. And Charles Swindoll, and this is very interesting. I didn't know who Charles Swindoll was, but he's a evangelical preacher. He wrote this: life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And if you've been with us before, I've talked about frequently and have done probably several talks about reacting versus responding. That when we react, we are most likely doing so through past triggers, junk ideas of this sort of an or another, things we've learned that really don't serve us, probably never served us, but don't serve us any longer. And we act through that versus taking a breath, because you know the feeling. You know the feeling. I know you have felt the feeling of, I'm going to react to something and this is pissing me off, or this is really making me super sad. And it's not necessarily because of the experience or the words that are being said, but our reaction to it because of our feelings about, or what is behind the feelings about what the person said or is doing. That pisses you off or makes you sad or makes you feel like you're not enough and all that stuff. But if we take a moment and take a breath so that we can respond, so that we can open up and allow our intuition, I'm pointing to my gut, our intuition to speak to us and let the divine speak through us, we find ourselves responding. Take a moment. Take that moment. You'll feel it. You'll feel your body tighten up. You'll feel the rage kind of vibrating in your head. When you feel those things, you take a moment before you say something or do something, so that you are responding versus reacting. Especially when somebody says something about you, at you, that is not cool. That is not nice. We got to remember that in a fabulous book by this title. What you think of me is none of my business. What you think of me is none of my business. As Confucius said, our greatest glory is not in never failing or falling, but in rising every time we fall or fail. So it's going to happen. Somebody's going to say something, somebody's going to do something, and you're going to take it personally. For whatever reason, I'm not judging that. It's what we do after we've taken it personally. Do we allow that to inform us, to validate or invalidate us? Or do we move through that and know that what you think of me is none of my business? I don't care if you're my boss. I don't care if you're my mate or partner. I don't care if you're my best friend. What you think of me is none of my business. What I think of me is all the business that there is. People are going to get pissed, and depending on their personality, lash out at you and trigger you. But what you think about yourself and your response based on what you think about yourself and who you know you are. Do I need to go through that again? Who you know you are. That individualization of the divine, my friends, the divine. How much more powerful can you be? When you know that, then you can respond. Now, I get it. I get the whole shadow self thing. And of course, I talk about self-talk all the time. And as Walt Whitman said, keep your face always towards the sunshine and shadows will fall behind you. That doesn't mean they necessarily go away all the time. That shadow, those junk ideas, that stuff that you've accepted usually because of negative stuff, which is where the shadow comes from, negative stuff, your upbringing, things like that, things that have been traumatic in your life, totally get it. Not downplaying that in the most, just reminding you that you have the power to put that stuff behind. Now, it may take a lot of spiritual practice or a little spiritual practice. It may take a little therapy. It may even take a pharmaceutical or two for a short time. That doesn't matter. Allow your intuition to show you those opportunities to bring the perfect experts, whether it's a spiritual counselor or a psychological therapist or even a psychiatrist or whatever medical person or a life coach or something like that, that will show you, that will remind you who you are and the power that you have. Here's something Neil Gaiman, the author, great author, wrote, fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. Your shadow self can be beaten. You can live a life of looking in the sunshine and allowing your shadow to be behind. Your shadow maybe even to push you forward, to bring you forward, to inspire you, to provoke you to better actions, to better thoughts, to better ideas. There's a gentleman named Og Mandino. His most famous book is The Greatest Salesman in the World, I believe it is. It's a great book. He's written several. He said, I will love the light, for it shows me the way. Yet I will endure the darkness because it shows me the stars. When we learn from the darkness, then we can move forward with only the sunshine in our face. Busting through and soaring and then zooming through our best life. Whatever that looks like. You get to decide what that looks like, not me. And we do it one step at a time sometimes. Sometimes we have to, as the Buddhists say, take one step at a time. Go back into kindergarten mode if you have to. And kindergarten mode is when you go back to remembering who you are. Going back to the basics. Like Napoleon Hill said, if you cannot do great things, Do small things in a great way. Do small things in a great way. Don't allow yourself to be so overwhelmed by taking these giant steps. Take little steps and allow them to add up to the giant step. Sometimes I'll look at something that I have to do, something I need to write, some form I have to fill out that's pages and pages long, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to take so long. And one question at a time, one part of the writing at a time, a chapter at a time, and do it well. And watch yourself quickly get to the end and do the overall great thing, the big thing. It adds up to the big thing. There's a Japanese proverb that says, fall 7 times, stand up 8. So if you see yourself keep falling and keep not succeeding, get up. You know, I've talked about this before, and there's so many examples. Colonel Sanders with Kentucky Fried Chicken, what was it? A couple of 1,000 times he heard no. Or Abraham Lincoln, that's another famous story about seemingly failure. I mean, this guy had a nervous breakdown. He had his wife passed away. His first wife passed away. He lost numerous elections. He failed numerous businesses, and yet finally became one of the, if not the greatest president we've ever had in the United States. Oh, that's a great story. You got to go back. I've talked about it. I've told the story, but he fell many times. Colonel Sanders fell many times, and they got up because on the 8th time, it happened for them. And there are less famous people who have done the same thing. Let me ask you a question. What music do you hear? Now, I'm not talking about on the radio or on your phone, or I'm not talking about that music, although that's great music. That's great music too. I'm talking about the music you hear in your mind. Do you hear the music of I can succeed? Do you hear the music of this may be difficult, but I know I can do it? You can do it, by the way. What voices do you hear? What voices, like I was talking about before, do you focus on? Here's another quote from Nietzsche. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Do you hear the music of the divine that is within you? Do you hear the music of the infinite possibilities that are there in the universe waiting through the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, whatever you want to call that law, to bring a new fabulous experience into your life? Do you hear that music? Are you dancing to that music? Well, you should. You really should. You really should take the time through a spiritual practice, whatever spiritual practice you enjoy that really fills you, that feeds your soul. Hear that music of the infinite possibilities that are there that you can attract because you are the magnet to attract it. And you are the magnet to bring people, ideas, corporations, whatever needs to, medical people, whatever needs to support you in this experience. Because they're all out there. They're all out there waiting for you to decide, to declare, to be who you are, and to attract them into your life. You got to bust through soar and zoom, my friends. Bust through soar and zoom no matter what. Good stuff, not so good stuff. There's always more to get. And that's exciting. That's exciting. Another thing Richard Bach wrote was, what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. Think of that. Be excited to go on to the next thing. Not bummed out because I thought I was on top and now there's another top. Don't follow that idea. Don't follow that idea. Allow that experience, good, bad, or indifferent, to be itself and be in the now for the next exciting experience. Don't you like adventures? Don't you like, maybe you don't like to travel, but if you have traveled and if you've ever gone to the Grand Canyon, then you see the magnificence of this hugeness, this power. What an adventure that is. Your life can be that adventure, as big as and beautiful and powerful as the Grand Canyon. You got this. You got this because you got the power, my friends. You got the power. So you're going to be a caterpillar many times in your life. But the great thing about that is that you're going to also be a butterfly many times in your life. How fabulous. How fabulous that is. This gentleman, he's I don't know what he officially is, but he's an inspirational speaker. Let's put it that way. His name is Simon Sinek. And he wrote, people who wonder if the glass is half empty or half full are missing the point. The point is that the glass is refillable. Your glass is refillable no matter what's going on in your life. No matter what the prognosis or the diagnosis is, no matter what or how long the divorce took, no matter what the numbers are in your bank account or investments today or yesterday, or because of what's going on in the financial world, no matter what is happening in your job, that glass is always refillable. No matter if you only see things as half full and kind of get too attached to the negative and that things can't get better and the statistics of because of where you were born or the education you have or this, that, or the other, that you can't get ahead, or even whether you know that the glass is full and that your life is full. There's always room. There's always room to fill it with more water, more divinity. Well, not more divinity in that you don't have it all already. It's that your awareness and your use and your awakenedness to it, to the divine power that is within you right now, to the biggest gift we all have. I don't care how talented you are, how smart you are. The biggest gift is that we are always at choice. We are always at choice to be that magnet to that experience we want to have. And that experience we have decided and declared to have. The point of all of this is no matter what is going on in your life, good, bad, or indifferent, we can always bust through, soar, and zoom into the next and greatest experience, because there's always a greater experience. Not because it necessarily makes you more money, makes you more healthy, makes your relationships better, makes your work or creative life better, but because it makes life more adventurous and fun and more happy and more successful and more prosperous and more abundant. There's always more. It's a universe full of opportunities. That glass of yours, no matter how successful or quote unquote unsuccessful you are or feel you are or society says you are, but of course we know who cares what society thinks because it's none of your business what society thinks. The point is the glass is always refillable. You got this, my friends. You got this. You are the divine incarnate right here, right now as whoever you are. Whatever you do. You got this. And I know it. And if you don't know it yet, I know it for you until you pick it up and take it and run for it. Have a most succulent, succulent life. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much. Listen, it matters not whether you give $1 or $1,000. It really doesn't. What matters is that you are supporting the vision of this spiritual center, and that we are feeding your soul. If we're feeding your soul, send us $1, send us $5, send us $1,000, whatever feels comfortable for you. Maybe even a little uncomfortable for you, go ahead and push that a little bit, because it'll push you and bring you up as well. We're on social media all over the place. This will show you where. I do a TikTok every week right after our gathering, and the TikTok includes the Affirmative Incantation for the week. So there's a place that you can find it. Otherwise, you'll see it in our newsletter, either on Thursday or Friday, or Monday or Tuesday for the week. And you can reuse that all week, twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. Perfect, powerful stuff for you to just change your perspective on life. As you change your perspective on life, you change everything. And speaking of which, I wrote a book about that. It has some essays and affirmative incantation, and you can buy it. Well, watch this. It'll show you where. So I want to thank Caressa and Steve, and of course wish them a happy 11th. That's their big day, the 11th. They have been, along with Gary and Barbara, such a vital partner in the New Thought Spiritual Center, and we're so happy that any of them are available to inspire you and me, actually. It amazes, well, it doesn't amaze me. It delights me. It doesn't amaze me because I kind of expect it anyway, but I am so delighted every time that Steve and Caressa come on, because I give them relatively little information about what I'm going to talk about, and they always come up with the perfect stuff. It's so great. So I want to thank them today. And of course, Steve is our producer and director of our broadcast every week. So I wanted to give a shout out for that. And Always excited for his songs. They're just so perfect. That was a perfect song today, by the way, Steve. And we're going to end our broadcast in a few minutes with a song Steve wrote and performs, Bust Through Soar and Zoom, sort of our theme song here at the New Thought Spiritual Center. Is that where I am? Yes. So before we end our broadcast, let us close with a spiritual mind treatment. And I'm going to take inspiration from that, from the book that Caressa quoted from, that we all love so much. It's just a great book. You have to get this. Order this at the same time you order my book. This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes. Just so great and short and precise. So let us close our eyes as we step into a spiritual mind treatment. Let us take a deep breath together. Hold that in a little bit and let it out. If you're doing some chores while you're listening, please stop for a moment. And you can stand there, or better, sit down for the few minutes. Put your feet on the floor. You don't have to close your eyes. You can keep them at a soft focus, so you can keep them open and watch my arms wave around as they tend to do. And let us know this together. There is one mind, there is one power in the universe, a force, a singularity, an energy, a vibration that is there, that is the master, the mistress, creator of all. This power, this presence is within us right now, each and every one of us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you've been brought up. It's there for you. So I claim right now this power is in us with awareness, with awakenedness. Today, I proclaim my divine inheritance. Today, I know I am rich with the richness of God, of the divine, of the power of spirit, of the great spirit. I am strong with the power of this singularity of the Big Bang. I am guided by the wisdom of divine intuition, divine intelligence. I am held in the goodness of this power, of this divine love, today, right now, and all the following right nows. And with this power, and with this presence, and with this awakeness, and with this knowing, I know this truth. No matter what is going on in my life, I got this. No matter what is going on in your life, you got this. You got this because of who you are. And so I stand in appreciation and gratefulness and thankfulness for this knowledge, for this knowledge that allows me and points me towards the best action and thoughts to take and have, no matter what is going on in my life. I appreciate that. I know that. I declare that. I am a magnet for my greatest good right here, right now. And the universe says, yes, here it is. As together we say, and so it is. Amen, Omen, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace unto you, my friends. Peace in your body, peace in your mind, peace in your life, everywhere. Have a most fabulous week. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaste.
Bust through and soar across the universe. Trust truth and roar above the sky. Connect the spiritual dots with the bust through and soar beyond your atmosphere. Trust, truth, and roar with all your joy inside. Embrace the experience, believing in spirit. You will fear no more. Bust through and soar. Reveal divinity in you right here, right now. Bust through and soar. Reveal divinity. You vibrate and shine within divine as you soar. Reveal